Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Sai Priya from MedWorld Expo. We are a unified digital healthcare platform connecting manufacturers, distributors, hospitals, clinics, labs, and healthcare experts worldwide. It's my honor to introduce our distinguished guest speaker, Dr. Kirti Agrawal. She completed her undergraduate studies at Modern Dental College and her post graduation in orthodontics from Sri Aurobindo College of Dentistry. Along the way, she authored her first book on Marpay and earned multiple recognitions, including the best paper at the PG convention in Lucknow for her innovative cleft lip and palate case. Dr. Agarwal has been a top performer in national competitions, securing third place in the orthodontic quiz. With more than 200 orthodontic cases under her belt, from spacing, crowding, class 1, 2, 3, to aligner therapy, cleft management, and surgical orthodontics, she even played a key role in her college's first surgical class. Beyond clinical practice, she's passionate about service, contributing through NGOs and dental camps across Madhya Pradesh to spread awareness and deliver care to communities in need. We're delighted to have her with us today. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kriti Agarwal. Ma'am, up to you.
Hello, everyone. Today, as ma'am have told you about the today's lecture, so today's lecture topic will be clear aligner therapy. We'll not be wasting much time on the introductory part. We'll directly go to the session. Is everyone able to see the screen?
Yes, ma'am, the screen is visible.
Okay, starting the lecture today with the clear aligner therapy. Today we're going to be seeing at the contents. We'll discussing about the introduction, how the aligners came into the orthodontic practice, the history of the aligners, classification, benefits, limitations, what are the steps in manufacturing and delivering a clear aligner to the patient, the scanning and digitalization, the digital treatment planning, the software which Invisalign uses, that is ClinCheck, will take a overview of that. 3D printing, materials, in-house clear aligners, and the comparison between our fixed appliances, that is fixed braces treatment and the aligner treatment. Then various generations of aligners, attachment designs in the aligner system, biomechanics, and aligners role in teen patients. Ending will be the retention protocol of the aligners. If you, in case you have any doubt, you can just jot down the doubts. We'll be taking them in the end of the session. So starting with the introduction, ma'am, should I start?
Yes, ma'am, you may start it.
Okay. So starting with the introduction part, so majority of the ortho patients seek orthodontic treatment because of the to enhance facial aesthetics. As we are aware that usually patients have their tendency that they want that aesthetic to be perfect, and it should the treatment protocol should enhance their facial aesthetics. So this is the main reason why patients shifted from braces to the clear aligner treatment. So buccal fixed metallic appliances are not effective treatment systems, but the patient don't want due to their metallic look and poor aesthetics. So the theory of the aligner used to straighten the teeth was first postulated in 1945 by a scientist called as Dr. Harold D. Kesling. He came, as you must have heard about the Kesling appliance. That is, it is an appliance for moving the teeth in the postulated or designated position. So he gave the concept of the aligners first. In 1994, Sheraton EL introduced the technique of interproximal reduction for resolution of lower incisor crowding. As we are aware, in aligner treatment, there's a main approach used as interproximal tooth reduction that is used to relieve crowding in majority of cases. So that technique was introduced by Sheridan. Coming to Invisalign, if we are talking about aligners and we don't discuss about Invisalign, it would not be a good lecture. So we'll talk about Invisalign. Invisalign is basically a software. It is a brand that was developed by two graduate business students at Stanford University, that is Kelsey Wirth and Shia Chisti. They used CAD/CAM to produce mass aligners for treating a broader range of malocclusions. So they developed a software, and with the use of CAD/CAM, they produced aligners digitally, and they used to treat basic cases, basic malocclusions, not the advanced ones. So Robert Boyd, the chairman of the Department of Orthodontics, that is University of Pacific, he assisted this endeavor of Invisalign. As you must have been aware that Invisalign is a brand. It's not a software. While the Align technology is basically the company who has developed the software, and they marketed in the field as Invisalign in August 1998. While in as we are aware, जैसे कोई भी चीज आती है, so it takes a gradual changes and modifications in that. So first came the aligner treatment. Then in 2005, a competitor as the second co-founder Zia Chishti, they emerged as competitor and made a self-clear aligner system known as an OrthoClear. So, but later she has to withdraw this company because of various lawsuits. Then a scientist came, Willis Pumphrey. Willis Pumphrey, who was a doctor like us, orthodontist, and he basically treated more than 400 cases. And because of this company switching and overlap, his patient used to suffer. His more than 400 patients treatment suffered. So he responded by developing a clear correct aligner in 2006. He himself made a aligner brand. So clear aligners, now we'll see this. This was the introduction and the history part. Now coming to what are the aligners, what are the category, and what are the different types of aligners. So clear aligners can be classified in 4 basic categories. First category is the positioners or guide. As you can see in this picture, it is a positioner or guide. You must be aware that we use these devices to correct the position of the patient in if the patient has dual bites or multiple bites and any issue with the occlusal bite form. So this category includes the original orthodontic appliance positioner described by Castling. This is the pioneer of the aligner system, this first category. Coming to the second category, it consists of thermoformed appliances, that is Essex retainer. In your clinical practice, you must have given this Essex retainer to majority of the patients as a for retention purpose. This is the second category, thermoformed appliances. It can be fabricated in orthodontic clinic or office or clinic or a commercial laboratory itself. Coming to the third category aligners are fabricated from models that have teeth cut out and manually moved to the correct position. If done in a series of models, an aligner can be fabricated from each model. If you must be aware of it, that in orthodontics, we position the tooth, we basically articulate maxilla and mandibular in respect to each other, and we move the teeth accordingly to the new positions. And we say that process is simulation, and it is very helpful in surgical cases. So the third category is aligners that can be fabricated directly from models. In the models, we make cuts and we manually move the tooth to the correct position, and accordingly we fabricate the aligner for that. So that is the third category. The last category is aligners fabricated from digitally manipulated models. If in third category we were doing the corrections manually, while in the last category we are taking a scan of the patient and digitally we are creating a model, and based on that model, aligners are fabricated according to the stages. This is a list of aligner currently available, that is mainly the product name, the manufacturer, the description of the aligner, use, and material. Kindly take a screenshot or a picture of this table. This is taken from the book Sandra Tai. The product is, as we will go very superficially, that in the Invisalign brand, the product name is Invisalign, the manufacturer is Align Technology, and it manufactures a number of aligners dependent on the treatment, according to the treatment case we are selecting, used for minor anterior tooth or to complex tooth. Invisalign has the ability to treat from minor cases as well as to complex treatment. The material is the Smart Track material. It is a multi-layer polyurethane and copolyester material. With the help of that, aligner is fabricated. Rest, Insignia, Vivid, Clear, Minor Alignment, Clarus, all these are different brand names by different companies and manufacturers. Coming to the classification of the aligners, based on the clinical applications, aligners can be of two types, retention and tooth moving. Retention, we are aware, the Essex retainer is a type of retentive appliance. And active tooth movement, the aligner with the attachments, they have the ability to move the tooth. Now, based on the material of thermoplasting, that can be vacuum formed or pressure formed. Vacuum formed means the manufacturing process is under the vacuum, and the brand names are Invisalign, OrthoClear, and Clear aligners. Pressure formed, you must have come across the machine of Essex retainer, that is pressure formed device. Next is method of manufacture, serial aligners or stepwise gradual fabrication. So when we take a digital scan, we send the model and ask the company to manufacture the aligners for us. So they give us a set of 5 aligners or 10 aligners along only. So these are serial aligners. While stepwise gradual fabrication involves that first we'll deliver a aligner to the patient, then we'll check for the changes and modifications, then we do that corrections, again we take a scan and we fabricate the aligner with the help of that is called a stepwise gradual fabrication. Now, what are the benefits of aligners? It is highly aesthetic, a transparent and clear design. It is comfortable to the patient. It improves the oral hygiene and periodontal health of the patient, as there is no wire component, and it allows proper brushing and flossing. No food restrictions, as patients are free to eat and drink anything during the clear aligner therapy, which is not the case with the metallic braces. Predictable treatment time. So it depends upon a proper treatment planning, and we can estimate a predict and a complete treatment time, which is somewhat ambiguous in the fixed treatment. Then decreased dental office visit. The patient can carry multiple aligner set trays along with them, and they can change themselves, so it decreases the dental office visits. There are minimal emergencies in cases of aligners, as in fixed appliances, due to wire component or breakages of any bracket material, can lead to emergency case situations, which is not as such encountered with clear aligners. And it is possible to include teeth with structural anomalies and difficult to bond surfaces. So in some cases, as we are aware that surfaces have different anomalies, due to which bonding is very difficult to that tooth. Or even if we bond, there are chances of significant breakages of the appliances, which is not encountered with aligners. Now, what are the limitations? So the limitations is it has dependency on the patient compliance. So it is very much that patient has to wear a minimum of 22 hours per day. Therapy is mandatory for the patient. Limited extent of tooth movements by aligner alone. So for complex movement, we have to go with some auxiliaries or different materials. The higher cost of aligners is very well known. Initial slurring of speech. So after the aligner wear, 2-3 days after, there's initially in some patients it is recorded to blur and slur the speech of the patient. Breakages while wearing or removing, the patient applies excessive force, then there are chances of breaking the aligners. As they are removable appliances, so the chances of losing the liner by the patient. And inconvenience, as every time the patient eats or drinks, he have to remove the aligner, so there's a slight inconvenience of removing and again wearing it. and it can have somewhat manufacturing defects due to ill-fitting aligners. As I hope you have got an overview of the aligners which we have gone through before. Now coming to the steps in the clear aligner treatment. So what are the steps when we give the patient a clear aligner? We select the treatment for clear aligners. First is the case records and the case selection. So it is very important to select a proper case. Uh, you know your capabilities, and you have to select the case accordingly, which cases you can go through and which cases you need, that these are not of my cup of tea. So better you select the case accordingly. High quality impressions, then 3D virtual setup, approval of treatment, construction of aligners, issue of aligners, and finishing and retention. We'll see each one in detail. So first, what are the indications of aligner? As per se, indications depend upon the clinician's ability. We can mainly treat the proper indications of aligners are class 1 spacing. Aligners work very well in spacing cases with mild to moderate crowding, with an existing good buccal occlusion. Half cusp class 2 with minor crowding, class 3 cases with minimum overbite or overjet, non-extraction cases, deep bite cases, anterior open bite, anterior lower incisor extraction cases, premolar extraction cases with mild crowding and orthognathic surgery. Again, with, I said there are no contraindications of aligner as per se. It depends upon the practitioner and clinician's ability to treat the cases by aligners. However, there are certain aspects which are harder to handle with the aligners. Now, high quality impressions. First, we have to select a proper and ideal case for aligner. Once you have treated a couple of cases with the aligners, your confidence itself increases. Then you can take difficult cases also. Then after selecting proper case, we have to take a high quality impression. High quality impression by polyvinyl siloxane impression is taken. But earlier we used to take impression by PVS impressions, but there are various shortcomings of the impressions, that it is unable to capture the sufficient details in the second molar region. There are multiple drag areas and certain air bubbles are seen, due to which today in we are completely shifted to scanning and digitalization. In that, there's an, as you can see in the picture, this is a intraoral scanner device. This is a wand. It has a screen in the anterior area. So we can, according with the help of this scanner, we can scan the arch completely. We can take the bite, the patient's molar relation, each and every single detail with the help of this scanning and digital procedure. Each scanner has an handheld wand containing a camera that is connected to a computer. The wand may project either a laser light or white light onto tooth surface, which is reflected back to the camera, after which hundreds or thousands of measurements per inch are performed. It simply means there's a wand, and in the wand scanner, there has a camera in the interior region, and in that camera, there are different types of techniques. So either that camera uses laser light or white light, and when that light is reflected on the tooth surface, it takes various records of the tooth surface, it takes various measurements and recreates that information into a 3D model. So there are 4 types of imaging techniques that are currently used: the triangulation technique, parallel confocal imaging, accordion fringe interferometry, and 3-dimensional motion videography. These are the imaging techniques that intraoral camera uses to capture the device. So like various brands uses different systems, like CEREC system, that is chairside economic restoration or aesthetic ceramics. It is a system of intraoral scanners which uses triangulation method. In triangulation method, the light source or the camera uses a laser light, and with that laser light, it forms a different angles and triangles when it captures the tooth surface. This technique is used by Dentsply Sirona. Then there is parallel confocal imaging. It uses laser light. Previously, we discussed that camera uses either laser light or either white light. So these both technique uses laser light. And in parallel confocal imaging, it uses system in which it creates multiple tomographic slices of the image. It takes some various parallel photographs and slices of the tooth structure and creates a 3D imaging. This system is very crucial because the iTero and Align technology uses the parallel confocal imaging. You must have heard about iTero very well. Now, what are the advantages of this? So, faster scanning technology, high resolution visual images, improved accuracy, and fewer distortions. All these drawbacks, which were in polyvinyl siloxyl impression techniques, are overcome in the digital imaging technique. In accordion fringe interferometry, so this technique uses basically the source of light. You must have heard in our physics lectures about the fringe patterns, light and gray and white regions of the fringe patterns, which makes the which records the image of the object. So it is based on the accordion fringe interferometry. 3D in motion video, it captures a video, basically a video of high definition video of the precise view of the target tooth. Now coming to digital planning. First, we have selected a proper case. Then we have take the scanning, and we have formed the a digital impression of the patient. Then we'll do the digital treatment planning. So in treatment planning, it is very important to know about STL files. STL files is stereolithographic files. So basically, any document or any digital model which is taken, any scan which is taken, that is converted into a digital model with the help of the STL files. So it is exported or uploaded to the software in the form of STL files. The basic steps of the software use are: first, we load or import scans, alveolar arch coordination, segmentation, VTO, staging, defining the number of aligners, and add attachments. So in this, basically, first we load or import scans. So we have taken a scan of the patient, and in that scan, for any new case, first we have to enter the name of the patient in the software, and the intraoral scan is imported into the software, arranged and cleaned, and a virtual base will be added. You are aware, in orthodontics, we for creating any patient's model, patient's impression, first we take the impression, then we do the basing. So similarly in this, after taking the scan and after the feeding the details, we the software itself creates a virtual base for that. So trimming the virtual base to a horseshoe shape matching the alveolar arch is recommended. So in this, what we do is, after the virtual base is made, we try to trim and make it in the form of an alveolar arch. We try to simulate and match the real anatomy of the tooth structure in that digital model. So to enhance the efficacy of the 3D printing workflow, to reduce the amount of material and time required to print the material model. And one more thing, if we trim the excess part of the virtual base, it will save the material and the time required to print the model. As we know, when we take the model, we'll 3D print that model. So the material for 3D printing and the time will be saved if we trim the unnecessary part. Now segmentation. So after we load or import the scan, we do segmentation. Segmentation means the individual tooth margin is defined. So in, as you can see in the picture, in this maxillary arch and mandibular arch, the various tooth have different colors. So in that, we have predetermined that individual tooth margin, that this should be up to this level. So we have segmented the margins for that. Tooth Shaper is the software to prepare the impression and section the tooth. We can do sectioning as well. You can see in this picture, this is the line. We have segmented the tooth, and we can perform various modifications according to our use. when we do bonding, you must be aware that we bond the tooth, so we need the facial access of the clinical crown. So identification of FACC and detailing is also helpful, and we can do with this software. This is the virtual gingival margins and morphing which we have done with the help of the software. When all the teeth have been segmented and cleaned up and the technician prepares the model, the axes are set in X, Y, and Z directions. So after importing segmentation and everything, we mark the axes of the tooth, and because as it is a 3D model, so it should have 3 directions. So we mark the directions. The next step is to set the bite in centric occlusion. So it is very important that the maxillary and mandibular bite should be in centric occlusion using an automatic tool in software. So you just have to take the scan. There's a option in the software where you can select that you need a centric occlusion bite. So the auto bite tool in tool shaper can be used to correctly bite to record the bite. Now, VTO, teeth are moved according to treatment. So, you must have heard about visual treatment objective. In this, suppose we have a patient with a class 2 tendency, and we have to check that the patient is profile improves or not after giving a class 2 corrector. So, we ask the patient to take the mandible ahead, and we check the profile of the patient. If there is a if we can see positive changes, means the class 2 corrector is working well for the patient. This is termed as VTO, visual treatment objective. So we can do digital VTO with the help of the software itself. Staging segmental movements are planned to ensure the space to move the tooth in their intended position. So by the help of staging, we can segment and plan the two movements accordingly. Which movement we want ahead, which movement we want later, we can set accordingly. Define the number of aligners. So suppose you don't want to define you don't have to define a proper treatment plan, or doesn't want to define a proper number. So if you directly upload the scan, the software itself will tell you the treatment planning and the number of aligners. But you as an orthodontist, if you are aware of the treatment planning, you can plan the treatment accordingly and stage the movements accordingly. You want this movement to be dealt first, and the movement should be done later on. So you can incorporate those changes in your planning, so the number of aligners will be changed. Some software possesses an inbuilt feature for automatic attachment placement, while others need manual addition. So we'll be discussing later about the attachments. What are the attachments? So the attachment have an inbuilt feature. Some softwares have inbuilt feature that will directly put the attachment it's by itself, and while some other require manual addition. So in that case, the orthodontist or the technician has to manually attach the attachments to the to the model. Coming to ClinCheck, an overview. So we are aware Invisalign is the best currently in the market. So Invisalign uses a software that is termed as ClinCheck. So it is the virtual setup for Invisalign for orthodontics, that is ClinCheck. ClinCheck is not the treatment plan, rather it is a three-dimensional interpretation of the treatment plan. So, but by the technician from the prescription form submitted online. You have scanned the model, you have entered the entries of the patient, you have done the prescription form filling and everything. Then the software itself produces and interprets and makes a treatment plan for the patient. That treatment plan is further sent to the orthodontist for any corrections and overviewing. So it is done with the help of the ClinCheck software. The technician's responsibility is to provide a virtual setup that follows the instructions on the prescription form. So it is very important the technician which is forming the model. So you have scanned the model, you have sent to the lab. So the technician first looks into the prescription form which you have filled. What are the corrections you need? Supposingly a case have very variety of corrections to be needed. Like it has crowding, it has crossbite, it has class 2 malocclusion, various factors are there in to be needs to be improved. But in the prescription form you have filled about only crowding and crossbite relievement. You don't want class 2 correction with the aligner. So the technician will form the treatment plan according to your prescription you have filled. It will deal only the crowding and the crossbite which you have mentioned. The technician uses a very robust proprietary software called a Street, and the orthodontic interface with that programmed is scaled down version called CleanCheck. So this whole process, you are aware, it is a very complex process, planning and each movement and correction of the patient. So the technician uses a software called a Street, while the orthodontist uses a software that is called as CleanCheck, because we are not aware about the technology in that depth as the technician is aware. Now, staging of the tooth movement in clean check. So an important aspect of controlling the tooth movement is staging. It is the sequence in which and speed at which the teeth are moved with aligners. So in this figure you can see in the front row it is written 7 2 6 3. All these are the stage 0 1 2 3 4. The front row is staging, and rest is the in the aligner tray numbers and the sequence in which the movements will be corrected. Aligners usually they come with a collision table. Collision table means how much treatment will be up to what stage what treatment correction will be attained. The number across the top represents different teeth number, and vertical axis represents the aligner number. So example, like in the first row, we can see on fourth stage there's a box formed, which means till fourth number we'll be able to see this much of correction in the patient. Now, segmented tooth movements and staging. So anchorage, as you must have heard about anchorage. So anchorage means to use the load, and one group is held stationary while the smaller group of the tooth is moved with the help of the first group or the supporting group. It is termed as anchorage. So difficult movements very often left to the end of the treatment resulted in prolonged treatment timing by adding multiple additional stages. To reduce excessive number of additional stages, some difficult movements were accelerated beyond a reasonable rate. So it simply means we can, with the help of staging, with the help of this segmentation, we can use it to our benefit and do multiple difficult movements all together. An alternate to segmental staging that one more closely mimics fixed appliance treatment is simultaneous staging, which we saw here. Now, aligner printing. This is a step in the aligner we have seen here. So this is the overview of the steps in the clear aligner treatment. First, we have seen the case selection. Then we have seen the impression by intraoral scans. Third is the virtual setup and treatment progress. We have seen how the files, it takes the software designs, and accordingly we can manipulate the treatment plan. Approval of treatment steps on the web. Now, after all this, I have told you that orthodontists can do the mandatory corrections in the treatment. So this is the approval of steps that the laboratory and technician will send and get it approved from the orthodontist or the clinician. Then construction of aligner delivery to treating now. So construction part is basically printing of aligners. So we are on that step, printing of aligners. So in aligner printing, there are certain machines, with the help of that stereolithography machines are there. We can formulate the models. This is a workflow of the fabrication of the clear aligners by the thermoforming process. First, we have taken the digital image acquisition. Then we have done the treatment planning. Then we have 3D printed the models. Then thermoforming clear aligners are fabricated. Now, what are the materials for these thermoformed aligners? There are wide variety of materials. So in first generation, the clear aligner material have evolved. They in first generation they were a single layer monophasic plastic. What that means, that only a single layer of plastic was there in the first generation of aligners. While in second generation, it used polyurethane materials. In the third generation, it used multi-layer materials. In that multi-layer, it comprises of a hard layer and a soft layer. The soft layer in towards inside, which will be placed in the patient's mouth, while the hard surface will be on the occlusal level. The soft layer is elastic deformation, allowing smooth seating of the liner, hard strength and durability. Why hard and soft combination are used? Because soft layer adapts to the mucosa and the gingiva properly, and they uh, does not does not harm or affect the gingiva, while the hard surface provides the strength and durability to the liner. Now, the materials for thermoformed aligners are polyvinyl chloride, thermoplastic polyurethane, uh, polyethylene terephthalate, polyethylene terephthalate glycolate. You must have heard about the terms PETG about aligner fabrication. Now, this is the clear aligner brand names, the commercial manufacturer, the composition of the material used. As we have seen in Invisalign, it is formed by Align Technology. They uses a smart tech material. Smart tech material में it uses multi-layer polyaromatic thermoplastic polyurethane. It is multi-layered. We have seen a soft part and a hard part. The aligner thickness is stated by the manufacturer after thermoforming is 0.75 mm. Now you can think 0.75 mm is thickness of the aligner delivered by Invisalign. Now the aligner material properties and commercial claims. So it markets itself as it applies gentle and constant force to improve the tooth movement, and the associated software are ClinCheck software. So similarly, there is a Clarity brand, Clear Correct, Spark, small, Short Smile. You can just take a photograph or screenshot of this. Next, coming to disadvantages. The disadvantage will be of the printing part. This process is long, it is labor intensive, costly, and waste material and environmental pollution. So we saw thermo printing of the liner, materials used, different materials, and the disadvantage that printing requires a long time and it is labor intensive, as we are very well aware it is a costly fare. Now, this is a life cycle of single-use plastic clear aligner. So, as we are aware, while aligner fabrication, it uses PETG, all these materials which I have mentioned. It has components of plastic in it: polyvinyl chloride, polyethylene terephthalate glycol. So, these materials should be degraded properly and in proper measures. If they're not taken care judiciously, it can cause UV radiation, thermal radiation. When this aligner is exposed to various UV radiation, thermal radiation, oxidation, so it can convert and act a hazard for our environment. And aligner has microplastics in it. We have seen the components. So it is of questionable. It has no evidence yet, but it is of questionable that the microplastics in aligners can cause some health issues to the patients. So direct 3D printing additive manufacturing. There's a process called direct 3D printing additive manufacturing. It can avoid the adverse effects of thermoforming process, such as alteration of mechanical and dimensional aesthetic characteristics of the material. It provides better geometrical accuracy, better fit, higher efficacy, and mechanical resistance and reproducibility. This is the workflow and stepwise acquisition, that is data image acquisition, digital planning, models production, 3D printing, then aligner fabrication. Now you must have heard about in-house aligners or in-office aligners. So what are they? These are basically the clear aligner systems in which the aligner fabrication, treatment planning in every aspect of the aligner delivery is taken care by the orthodontist or in-house office itself. So these are the steps in the workflow of the in-house aligner system. First, we take the scan of the patient. Then this is DHP, that is digital treatment planning. We do a digital treatment planning. We export the file with 3D print the model. We wash, cure, aligner, then trim, label them according to the patient name. Then we pack and we do the liner delivery. This is the workflow of in-house aligners. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of in-house aligners? So, what advantages are that we are able to customize the aligner according to the patient requirement. We can minimize the cost because we are fabricated in-house, so we can make minor adjustments, and there's a possibility we can minimize the cost. There's a convenience of laboratory support for aligners and appliance adjustment, and we have an opportunity of personal branding. While the drawbacks include, firstly, we need a good knowledge and proper equipment for the setup of the aligners. We need a trained and dedicated staff which can have effective handling of aligner fabrication and delivery process. And usually, there's an absence of uniform protocol. As you're aware, we when we take any impression and we send it to the laboratory, so they have a set system of protocols and systems. They have their own in-house technician, various staffs which look after the minute errors and complications. Now in in-house aligners, you are your own on your own, so you have to make all the necessary adjustments according to your capabilities and your staff capabilities, and paucity of evidence regarding the predictability and effectiveness of the in-house aligners. So, as we are aware, the Invisalign and other aligner brands provide a predictable and effective evidence that there are certain cases which they have treated very nicely, and the outcome of the treatment have been very predictable. But you, as a newcomer of the in-house aligners, it will be difficult for you to predict the effectiveness in initial couple of cases. Now, coming to the comparison between the edgewise appliances and the clear aligners. So in the fixed treatment appliance, like fixed orthodontics, where the appliance possess a pull type of motion, a pull on the tooth, while the clear appliances, clear aligners applies a push on the tooth. I'll explain this. So as you can see in this image, this is the wire component, and there's a lingually blocked out tooth. So when we engage wire in this, it applies a pull motion on the tooth. So the tooth from here, it is getting pulled in towards the labial aspect. This is the pull type of motion applied by the fixed appliance. While in aligners, this is a component, this is called as attachment. So in aligners, there are various attachments that is attached to the tooth to be moved. So in this, the aligner, uh, um, after this attachment is fixed on the tooth, and then the patient is made and guided to wear aligner. So when the patient wears the aligner on this attachment, so that aligner and this attachment interface acts as a medium, and they push the tooth in certain motion. So aligner basically works on the push principle rather than pull principle. Engagement. In fixed appliance, there's an arch wire and a bracket. So in the bracket, the wire is placed, and the thicker the wire, there will be better the engagement. While in aligners, the aligner, they are plastic around the tooth. It means it basically wraps the tooth from all surfaces for the better engagement. So the engagement part is better in aligners as compared to fixed appliances. You can see in this diagram, figure 2 and 3, that in the first, the bracket, there's a round wire placed. And in second image, in that similar bracket, a rectangular wire is placed. So we can expect more engagement in case of rectangular wire, and because of better engagement by a rectangular wire, um, more correction can be expected in the rectangular wire. While the initial round wire cases, somewhat control will be less and engagement will be less. Well, this is not the picture in aligners. In aligners treatment, from day one onward, they have excellent attachment. Now, fixed appliances work on the reciprocal principle. Reciprocal increase principle means Newton's third law. While in clear aligners, the anchorage segments can be predetermined. What do you mean by this? So, you can see from this image that in this case, we have to extrude this tooth. So when in fixed appliances, this tooth is the extrusive force is uh, placed on this tooth, then on the adjacent tooth there will be a relative intrusive force. So this is every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So it is based on that principle, fixed appliance. While in aligners, we can predetermine a set as anchorage. Supposingly, a similar case in aligner, so we can take the molar as an anchor unit. So the molar will act as anchorage segment, and we can use a particular amount of attachment to extrude the tooth, but the relative intrusion on the adjacent tooth will be not there. This is the advantages of aligner. In terms of various tooth movements in fixed appliances, as we have seen, only single tooth extrusion is possible, while in it is possible to extrude a particular segment, but for that you have to use tads and other measures by which you can extrude a particular segment. But usually in fixed appliances, usually a single tooth extrusion is possible, while in clear aligners we can extrude a anterior segment altogether. In intrusion, in fixed appliances, there is relative intrusion only. Means relative intrusion means some, if the intrusion is there, you can see in this picture. This is a reverse curve arch wire as we have placed. So if we want intrusion of the anterior segment, you can see this yellow arrow in the anterior segment. So if we need intrusion of the anterior segment, due to intrusion of anterior segment, there will be relative extrusion of the posterior segment. So the intrusion will not be true intrusion, it will be relative. In relation to the posterior segment, anterior is intruded. While this is not the case in the case of aligner, here the entire segment or selective intrusion can be done. Now, in cases of torque, you must have heard about the root movement or the torque. So, in fixed treatment and braces appliances, label and lingual root torque can be applied and can be achieved, while in clear aligners, only lingual root torque can be achieved. Because of various bracket positioning and archware bands, we can control the root inclinations in the fixed appliances. While we can control the root inclination, but we will need optimized attachments and virtual gable bands in case of clear aligners. These are the power ridges. You can appreciate in the gingival aspect of the aligners, there's a elevation called as power ridges for the incisor torque. Now the capabilities of the fixed and the clear aligner as we know, when we place the initial wires, the initial nighttime wires in the patient in the fixed appliance treatment, so the teeth tend to procline, the incisors tend to procline to align, to get into alignment. Well, this is not in the case of clear aligners. We have excellent control on the incisor inclination. Talking about the vertical control, when the incisors tend to procline while alignment, due to that overgent and overbite is decreased. While in case of clear aligners, because we have excellent control on incisor inclination, there is minimal changes in the overbite and overjet. Midline correction is very predictable with the help of aligners, while in fixed appliances, it depends upon the elastic wear, like how much elastics the patient have is wearing. Tooth size discrepancies can be calculated and adjusted for midway through the treatment. While the tooth size discrepancy, any Bolton discrepancy can be calculated by the ClinCheck software in the aligners and can be measured accurately. Now coming to generations of aligners. Hope you have got a clear picture of idea of about aligners, their generations. Now coming to generation of aligners, the first generation, the earliest form of these systems were solely reliant on the aligner shape to achieve their results. So no auxiliary elements were incorporated. There is limited research available assessing the tooth movements achieved by these aligners. So in the first generation of aligners, these were the basic form of the liner in which there were no auxiliary elements, no attachments, just just the tray component, the plastic thermoformed tray, which were used. In second generation, in 2009, Invisalign introduced smart force attachments. In smart force attachments, it was patient specific, it was tooth specific, and it used to continuously deliver forces to the tooth. It means there were smart force. We'll be discussing about the attachments in the later slides. So in second generation aligners, there were different types of attachments that were placed according to the tooth movement which we required. In third generation, they majorly focused on the optimized rotation control of premolars. So the initial movements were dealt with. Now in this generation, the main focus were rotational control. In fourth generation, basically, to enhance the clinical outcome of the open mite cases, in cases of multiple teeth, inclusive multiple tooth, so we placed attachments. In fifth generations, it has smart track polyurethane, which is a which helps in the correction of deep bite and anterior intrusion, more which has more precision. In sixth generation, the aligners Invisalign introduced G6 generation for first premolar extraction cases. Seventh generations aim to deliver better finishing outcomes. So some clinicians seek more better finishing of the cases. So in that case, the seventh generation came into action. And in eighth generation, it dealt with crowding and crossbite cases. So coming to attachments. So we have seen what are the aligners, what are different components. Now we'll see the attachments. So there are two types of attachments, conventional and optimized. In conventional attachment, there are standardized shapes and standardized sizes. Standardized shapes means the shape of the attachment is fixed. That is, if the shape is ellipsoid is the fixed. So we have various attachments of ellipsoid shape, but it can vary in the sizes. In standardized size, we can fix the amount of size. So if we have assumed supposingly a particular size of the attachment, but we can vary the shape of the attachment. In optimize, the size and the shape is determined by the software based on the each patient and tooth. In optimized, we can manipulate either shape, size, both we can manipulate according to the patient and the tooth. So conventional attachments, what are the conventional attachments? These are basically passive attachments that increase the engagement of the aligner on the tooth. So they act as handles. Better we'll see the types and it is much easier to understand. So in conventional attachments, there are three types of attachments: ellipsoid, rectangular, and beveled. First, coming to ellipsoid, you can see in the image, there's a blue color ellipsoid attachment. So ellipsoid attachment are basically passive attachments. They only just increase the retention and anchorage. They increase the surface area of the tooth. So whenever we know a tooth that has a limited surface area, we need more surface area to increase the engagement and retention. So we can give the ellipsoid attachment on that tooth. Rectangular attachment, again, it has two varieties. They are also passive attachments. Passive attachment means they will not uh, they will not exert force on by itself. So rectangular attachments have two types. So rectangular can be placed either horizontal or vertical. So in the first image, we can see vertical attachments, vertical or rectangular attachments. They are used for root control, while these are horizontal root attachments in the blue color. They are used for root control, but used for small clinical crowns. Beveled attachments, these are basically vertical and horizontal attachments, which we have seen this vertical rectangular and horizontal rectangular, but they are beveled. Beveled, beveling of any surface. So when we bevel a surface, we create that passive surface into active surface. So bevel provide a flat surface for aligner to push against to effect the desired tooth movement. So suppose there's a horizontal attachment. Horizontal attachment means this blue color attachment we have placed on a tooth and we have beveled it. You just have to imagine on a posterior molar region, we have this on posterior molar region. This is blue horizontal attachment, and we have beveled this surface from gingival direction. So from gingival aspect, if we have beveled, so it will apply force on the bevel and it will cause extrusion of the tooth. While if we do the same beveling in this blue horizontal attachment, in the occlusal area, if we do the beveling in the occlusal aspect, it will promote intrusion of the tooth. These are the conventional attachments. These are only placed by software itself. Now these are optimized attachment. Optimized attachment, they are automatically placed by software when it detects certain thresholds of tooth movement. So optimized, it is depends upon the amount of the force applied, direction of force applied, amount of force applied in any particular patient and case. Coming to Invisalign fundamental principles. So there are 5 fundamental principles given by Invisalign. So in Invisalign, aligners only work by pushing teeth. They don't pull. No. So in these are the fundamental principles in which they have given that an aligner work only by pushing mechanism, not by pull mechanism. Then multiple movements at the same time. We can do multiple movements of the same time, but not as similar to as in the fixed appliances cases. Anchorage is required for effective. Yes, anchorage is required for effective movement, and over engineering clean check is a must. So we need a clean check software for engineering, but it is not that only clean check over engineering is required. The orthodontist, its treatment planning is also required and helpful. Just a second. How do aligners move? Now, coming to biomechanics of the aligners. So basically, the biomechanics part. So the aligners move the tooth by two mechanisms. First is the shape molding effect and the auxiliary effect. So in shape molding effect, the basically aligner is basically a type of mold. that is placed on the tooth. So molding the movement of the target teeth according to the shape of the aligner used. So the shape which we have used for of the aligner, it can mold the target teeth accordingly. Primary means the force of the application since the inception of uh, clear aligner treatment. So shape molding effect is the primary means of force application from the introduction of clear aligner treatment. Pre-established between the aligner shape mismatches between the aligner shape and dental crown geometry can 3D force can generate 3D force. Supposingly, there's a tooth. Uh, Now on that tooth, we made a certain type of beveled attachment. You just have to imagine there's a tooth, just pay, we have a attachment on that, and we have beveled that attachment. Now we have placed the aligner on that. So we intentionally create a misfit between the aligner surface and the attachment surface. Due to that interaction, it generates a slight amount of three-dimensional force which is distributed all over the tooth and the aligner. Because of that, tooth movement is possible. Now we have seen two methods by which aligner move the teeth, that is shape molding effect. Then second one is auxiliary element. Auxiliary elements comprises of the attachments, power resist which we saw. All these are auxiliaries which are used to create force on the tooth. Now attachment design in the Invisalign system. So basically we have seen conventional and that conventional and optimized attachments. So what are these attachments used for? So these attachments improve the retention of the liner. They enhance and facilitate specific type of tooth movements. The optimized attachments allow smart track to produce the required force, which creates the moment required to move the tooth in the CleanCheck software. Now, aligner treatment in class 2 cases. So we know in class 2 cases, we have to dislice the tooth. We have to derotate more, sometimes derotate the molar. We have to jump the bite, elastic by elastics, extractions, mandibular advancement, or orthodontics. So we can use multiple. If we have a case in we need this kind of any possible therapeutic option, so we can club that with aligner itself. And aligners in extraction cases, we'll see a case in this there's a, as you can appreciate, there's a crowding. So in this it has done this is all four case, so we have extracted all the four premolars. Then we have placed attachments. You can see on tooth there are this pink color attachments placed all over. These are the attachments of the tube. And in figure 8.6, you can appreciate in figure 8.6, there's a button over here. From that button, there's a green color rubber is attached. So this is basically in class 2 cases, sometimes we need class 2 correction with the help of aligner. So what we do is we place button on the respective tooth and we run elastics from those tooth. So it is similar to class 2 cases were treated by the fixed appliances. This is the treatment result with the aligner. Now coming to Invisalign team, so the same treatment can be incorporated in the treatment of the teenage individuals as well. First, the aligners and Invisalign were introduced for adult patients. Now, though individuals with a fully erupted permanent dentition and adults were only dealt previously, now we are able to treat mixed dentition cases with aligners as well. So coming to our end of the lecture, the retention and the stability of the aligner therapy. So up to now, till date, there is no universal retention protocol for aligner. Most common retention devices are Holly's retainer, clear thermoplastic retainers, that is Essex retainer. and the thermoplastic retainers have good aesthetics. So the thermoplastic retainers, that is Essex retainers, they are very aesthetic to the patients. So after the treatment, we can give the thermoplastic retainer as the retention for retention purpose. For some complex cases, we can give Holly's retainer as well. And in some cases, some clinician do the in aligners. The last tray is asked we ask the patient to wear the last tray of the treatment for a longer duration of time. So it itself work as a retention for some time. So indication for various retentive device, you can see Holly's retainer for patients who need an increased stabilization of canine position. So if you have a labially placed canine initially, or a rotated canine, or an impacted canine, if you have treated this type of case with the aligner, so you'll be needing Holly's retainer. Only Essex retainer won't be suffice for in this case. And in patients after transverse expansion or after treatment of deep bite, suppose in case you have treated, you have expanded the arch, or you have treated a case with deep bite. So in that case also you'll be needing Holly's retainer. Now fixed retainer, you must have heard about the fixed lingually bonded retainer. So that retainer is used in periodontally compromised patients, in spacing and midline diastema cases, and compromised space closure during extractions, severe tooth rotations, open bite, impacted canal. All these cases will be requiring a fixed retainer as well as an Essex retainer. These are the references. You can go through them. So if any query, you can contact me. So coming to, we'll take the doubts in question and answer session.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your insightful session. I think we'll take up a few questions.
Okay.
So the first one is from Venkat. How does clear aligner therapy differ from traditional braces in terms of effectiveness and patient comfort?
I have already discussed this, but I'll tell you again. So in terms of differences, you can take a view of this. I have already discussed this, how the pattern of force, engagement, and everything differs between the fixed appliance and clear aligner. This is the capability about the movements which can be done by the fixed appliance and the clear appliances. These are the inclination and movements done by the clear aligners and the uh, fixed appliances. I've talked about this in detail. And in terms of, if this is the in terms of effectiveness, you have asked how does clear aligner therapy differ from traditional braces in terms of effectiveness and patient comfort. So this all 4 slides I have discussed, this is about the effectiveness, that is how clear aligners and how braces work, and their effectiveness. And in terms of patient comfort, um, clear aligners are obviously better in comfort as compared to the traditional braces, because I'll tell you the slide, I'll give you the material. So this is the patient comfort part you were asking. So the aligners are basically more comfortable to patients. You just imagine yourself that you have a brackets all over the teeth, and the wire component according along with that, is it will be that more comfortable, or an aligner with the tray and attachments on your tooth. So anyway, the aligner treatment is more comfortable, it is more aesthetic, and because aligner is removable, we can remove the aligner during eating and any during eating or any procedure, so that, or brushing the tooth, so that time we can remove it. So it is better for oral hygiene maintenance and periodontal health as well. There will be no food deposition and accumulation of food, which is encountered very much in the braces patient. So this is about the comfort part. Next question, moving towards next.
So, ma'am, the next one is how long does a typical clear aligner treatment take compared to braces?
Okay. It depends upon the case of the patient, whether you are treating a spacing case, crowding, class 2, class 3. But usually, aligner treatment takes less time as compared to braces. Um, through my clinical practice, I can tell you that generally, aligner treatment take about 3 to 6 months less than the braces treatment. There's no a written note about the treatment timing comparison between the aligner and braces as per se in our literature, but usually it is seen that aligner treatment gets completed 3 to 6 months ahead of the braces treatment. If I'll find any article or any informative literature regarding this, I'll share with you.
Yes, ma'am, that would be great. The last question is how do aligners impact oral hygiene compared to traditional treatments, orthodontic treatments?
Okay, I have mentioned about us just now only that you can see this. Firstly, there are two aspects, the positive aspect and the negative aspect. Coming towards the positive aspect, when aligners are placed in the mouth, so it provides aesthetic comforts, improved oral hygiene. Because of oral hygiene, because of removal nature, we can properly brush and floss the tooth. So it plays a major role because the chances, as we are aware, during the braces treatment, patient encounters a variety of periodontal problems from gingivitis, bleeding gums, periodontitis. All the chances of periodontal disease are reduced in aligners because daily cleaning is very helpful in cases of periodontal problems. So the positive aspect of the aligner to in the oral health is about the oral periodontal health, oral gingival health, oral tooth health, like tooth health. Like there will be less chances of caries and decay in cases of aligners as compared to braces. Like, now coming to negative or limitations part. So the impact of aligner in the mouth, the negative part which I just came across, one or two thing only. It is about that there's a potential that aligners which are fabricated from microplastics can have potential health hazards in future. In future, it can lead to certain neurological problems, cardiac. As we know, the plastics, microplastics have a huge role in our day and health and day-to-day life. So it can have a possible impact on our oral health. This is the only negative effect I have came across so far.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's all about the questions. Before I close the session, I just wanted to show MedWorld Expo platform and we can close the session. Let me stop your sharing and let me share my screen.
Okay.
So is my screen visible, ma'am?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's visible.
So hello everyone, good evening. So before we close the session, I just wanted to show you how MedWorld Expo works. So which made this session wonderful happen today. So MedWorld Expo is a global healthcare platform. Here we will be helping healthcare equipment manufacturers, distributors, and healthcare service providers to connect over here. So the major advantage of people who have joined today as medical students, practicing doctors and doctors So I would like to showcase what would be the major benefit of using MedWorld Expo platform. So first thing, as usual, that you have joined the webinar. In the same way, we will be hosting different kind of specialty webinars. A part of dental, we do other webinars also, like cardiology and different kind of specialties. In future, if you can join the session, please do join. And as a in healthcare service professional, you will be able to attend webinars. You will be able to join CME programs, which we are going to start soon, which is credit-based program. And even you can directly see all the latest news and insights about healthcare platform. And you can write blogs as a student or as a healthcare professional, like doctor, practicing doctor, nurse, anybody. If you wanted to share any insights or if you wanted to write anything, here is the place where you can write. So this is the right opportunity for showcase your talent over here. And we have medical communities. As you're into healthcare industry, you wanted to connect with different doctors, right? So here is a MedWorld Expo platform. It's a right opportunity for you to find the right people in each specialties. So here you can create your own community, or here you can able to join different communities as well. And we have healthcare journals and medical magazines. You can able to browse, and you will be able to repost your journals. Career advancement. If people are looking to pursue abroad studies, right from application to till you travel to abroad, we will be helping you out, like complete from application to till the travel. And we have job portal. uh, you will be able to access different kind of jobs in healthcare platform, healthcare network itself. So as you're into healthcare, you'll be using different kind of job platforms, right? But in MedWorld Expo, it is exclusively for healthcare. So you'll be able to browse all kind of jobs in medical, biomedical, all the fields. So this is all about MedWorld Expo. People who haven't registered this MedWorld Expo platform, please do register and log into www.medworldexpo.com. Thank you so much. Ma'am, before closing, or would you like to say something?
Hope you have got a brief information and idea about the aligners. In case you have any doubt, you are very free to contact me and share your query. Relevant material and document I'll be providing you if you
Sure.
need, if anyone needs that.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
I would also like to thank MedWorld Expo for giving me the opportunity to share my views and connecting the people across the fraternity
Thank you,
to
ma'am.
share the knowledge. So very well thanks to the MedWorld Expo as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everybody. I hope we will be doing other sessions soon with you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good day.
Have a good day. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.